Even after Bill Clinton just tried meddling to influence the outcome of the case, another one of Bill Clinton's friends is going to prison. Former Kentucky Democrat Party Chair Jerry Lundergan, who is also friends with other influential Democrats like Joe Biden, was caught illegally funneling hundreds of thousands of dollars into his daughter's campaign back in 2014 when she was Secretary of State. Joe Biden and Bill Clinton supported the same campaign. Lundergan was convicted last September on 10 charges related to making more than $200,000 in illegal corporate contributions to support the 2014 U.S. Senate campaign of his daughter, Allison Lundergan Grimes. Both Jerry Lundergan and his daughter are close friends of Bill and Hillary Clinton. At one point during her failed 2014 campaign, Allison Lundergan Grimes paid over $17,000 to fly Hillary Clinton into Kentucky. Another interesting possible conflict in the case involves the fact that even though federal prosecutors are arguing that the convicted former Kentucky Democrat Party chair should be serving more than 5 years in prison, it looks like Bill Clinton is stepping in to try to influence the court against that outcome. Clinton joined a list of others urging lenient sentencing for Lundergan. Clinton sent a letter of support to the convicted Kentucky politician. Clinton wrote of his deep personal friendship with Lundergan, calling him, quote, a good man with a big heart who has made a positive difference in countless lives, including my own. Lundergan's attorney is arguing that the charges against the former Kentucky Democrat Party chief are politically motivated. Today, they've announced that the former Kentucky Democrat Party chief has been sentenced to 21 months in federal prison. Lundergan, the father of former Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes, will also undergo 2 years of supervised release and have to pay a $150,000 fine, according to court documents. Meanwhile, they mentioned in a new press release from the Department of Justice that in addition to the sentence against Lundergan, co-defendant Dale Emmons of Richmond, Kentucky, was sentenced to 9 months in a halfway house to be followed by 3 years of supervised release and ordered to pay a fine of $50,000. Press release continues saying that on September 12, 2019, following a 5-week trial, a jury convicted Lundergan of 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count of making corporate campaign contributions, 4 counts of causing the submission of false statements to the FEC, and 4 counts of causing the falsification of documents with the intent to obstruct and impede a matter within the FEC's jurisdiction. The jury convicted Emmons of 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count of making corporate campaign contributions, 2 counts of causing the submission of false statements, and 2 counts of causing the falsification of documents with the intent to obstruct and impede. According to the evidence presented at trial, Lundergan used the funds of SR Holding Company Incorporated, SR Holding, a company he owned, to pay for services provided by consultants and vendors to a campaign for a U.S. Senate seat in the 2014 election cycle. The candidate for this seat was Lundergan's daughter, Allison Lundergan Grimes. The evidence established that Lundergan caused the issuance of a number of payments from SR Holding funds for services that included audio-video production, lighting, recorded telephone calls, and campaign consulting between July 2013 and December 2015. The corporate contributions also included monthly payments from SR Holding to Emmons and his company during this period. Emmons provided services to the campaign and sought and received compensation from Lundergan and SR Holding. Emmons also used the funds of his corporation, Emmons and Company Incorporated, to pay other vendors and a campaign worker for services rendered to the campaign. Those services included recorded telephone calls, technological support services, and other campaign-related expenses. The evidence established that Lundergan and Emmons concealed these activities from other officials associated with the campaign. Their concealments caused the campaign unwittingly to file false reports with the FEC because the reports failed to disclose the source and amount of the corporate contributions. The DOJ's press release then continues with a statement from Robert Duncan Jr., U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Kentucky. He said, quote, "This case should underscore the fundamental principle that breaking the law has consequences. The defendants circumvented the campaign finance laws by knowingly making over $200,000 in unlawful corporate campaign contributions and causing false filings to be submitted to the Federal Election Commission. These are important laws that regulate the integrity of our elections. A jury convicted them, and the court has now sentenced them for their crimes." Another article from Kentucky.com reacting to today's sentencing gives some more info on Lundergan's influence in the Democrat Party. They say that Lundergan, whose businesses include a catering company and a disaster services company, represented the Kentucky House District in Lexington for several terms and was twice head of the state Democrat Party. Again, they point out Lundergan's close friendship with Bill Clinton and the fact that Clinton was one of dozens of people who wrote letters to the judge seeking leniency for Lundergan. Supporters have said that the charges against Lundergan were politically motivated, but prosecutors scoffed at that idea. Quote, "It is the defendant's own unlawful conduct, not some impermissible purpose, that led to their prosecution," they said in one document. Grimes, a lawyer, is one of Lundergan's 5 daughters and worked to extend his legacy in politics. She was once seen as having a key role in the future of the Democrat Party. She won the most votes of any Democrat in a statewide race in 2011 and hung on to the office in 2015 despite Republican gains elsewhere. The charges against her father, article points out, likely helped change the course of the 2019 election for governor. Grimes had been considered a potential candidate, but with charges pending against her father and facing controversies of her own, including a no-bid contract for a donor, she did not make the race. In court on Thursday, Lundergan, emotional at times, acknowledged making, quote, "bad choices," and apologized to Emmons and to his friends and family, many of whom were in court. To Grimes, he apologized for, quote, "disrupting your public service life." Defense attorneys had long argued the spending at issue in the case did not qualify as corporate contributions under federal law, and that Lundergan and Emmons didn't intend to do anything wrong. Instead, they said that Lundergan's failure to quickly seek reimbursement for some costs was an innocent mistake. Lundergan did ultimately bill the campaign for some spending, but in some cases only after it became evident the FBI was investigating. Prosecutors, however, said Lundergan and Emmons knew what they were doing and used misleading or vague invoices in some cases to conceal the spending. In arguing that the 2014 spending wasn't a mistake, prosecutors presented evidence that Lundergan also took part in improper spending in Grimes' 2011 and 2015 races for Secretary of State. That evidence included testimony from consultant Jonathan Hurst, who ran Grimes' campaigns, that Lundergan reimbursed him more than $200,000 in the 2011 race without getting repaid by the campaign. Hurst also testified that Lundergan left $20,000 in cash at his house and a $25,000 check made out to, quote, Boy Scouts for work on Grimes' 2015 race. The cash and check were still at Hurst's house in January of 2016 when FBI agents showed up with a search warrant. Hurst, who still does political consulting, received immunity to testify against Lundergan. Please leave a comment and tell me what you think about this latest update. If you could give this video a thumbs up, click the like button, that's greatly appreciated, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And a big thank you once again everybody who has supported the channel over at Patreon or PayPal. Even a few dollars makes a huge difference. Helps me keep talking about these issues. Patreon.com/realityreader or paypal.me/realityreader. You can find either link down in the video description where you can support this channel directly. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.